everybody. I hope everyone had a great morning and a nice lunch. And we are ready to kick off the second and final half of this year's Disability and Intersectionality Summit. And I would like to introduce our next speakers, Pauline and Sorretie. And so they are going to present, and afterwards they are going to leave some time for questions. Again, if you have a question you would like to ask, please make sure you have the microphone before you ask it so that our car interpreter can pick that up. All right.
Hi, my name is Sorretie Jaro, and I am from Spokane, and I'm a part of People First, representing in Spokane as a president of the Downtown Lilac chapter. I'm also a SARTAC fellow, which means Self-Advocacy Resource Technical Assistance Center, the program is affiliated with a program called SABE, Self-Advocates Becoming Empowered, which SARTAC is in Kansas City, and I'm representing in Spokane with, I'm part of one of 6 other fellows, so. And I want to talk to you about People First and leadership. So I wanted to ask you guys a question. Raise of hand of what does leadership mean to you, and what comes to mind of leadership? So I wanted to, she's going to pass around the mic, and so I want you to explain to me of how leadership means to you and how it impacts you.
It's a person who brings other people together, and they don't have to be like a leader with like a fancy name. They just have to have the right people to bring in to the group.
The leaders that have been most impactful for me don't even need to name that they're leaders. Their actions inspire other people to follow them.
Does anybody else?
Leadership is something that I at least think as of something that creates change and moves people towards positive change.
Okay, when there's no more discussion, so I'll move on. So this is a definition of what I found online. Leadership is the ability to adapt the setting to everyone feels empowered, to contribute creatively to solving the problems. Leadership is to have compassion and leading others to success. So I'm going to talk about People First. People First is a nonprofit advocacy organization. There's other adult chapters all over Washington State. There is also a program which is named Student First. It is separate from People First. That is a program that is done with high school students. And each high school has their own club, self-advocacy club, which we teach them about self-advocacy and working as a team. And they also get to learn how to run for office and get to learn how to elect. And so we practice a lot of voting, and we do like team building activities. And one that's highlighted is our People First mission is we are people first and our disabilities are secondary. We are equal citizens in the community. Now I'm going to talk about leadership values. Representing yourself as a leader, these are the values of what I came up with here. To care for your community, like environmental cleanup, like helping out picking up trash, and people have equal part in citizen and community, and becoming an advocate is part of a leadership. These are opportunities how I became a leader, being a part of Student First in my high school, became running for office of my Spokane chapter, People First, be willing to present with organizations, and I care about others. These are the list of challenges how I became as a leader, knowing what to do, talking to local organizations about what need to do right, and being able to commit with something and follow through being busy. These are the topics of what it means to be equal citizens in the community, being treated with respect and to show it among others around you. Anyone with a disability are just like everyone else. We deserve to be treated like everyone else, to feel included in your community, like participate in activities with friends and invite anyone to participate with you. So I'm going to be leaving some questions, so if you have any questions about what I've talked about, or if you have any comments, or I'm free to take them.
So I have a question, what kind, do you have many groups signing up for People First? And how do you get more people to sign up to get involved?
Yes, anybody can sign up, and we can also request if you want a People First in your area. So Donna Lowry, she's the coordinator that runs the Washington, but you can also request online by her, but I can give you information after the workshop, so I can be able to help you that.
Thank you for putting together this presentation. I know you mentioned something about, being mindful and wary of including people in activities. Are there some recommendations that are for publications that are out there? Because I feel like there are a lot of people who want to include people with disabilities in activities, but we just don't have like the know-how, or the able-bodied people don't have that know-how on how to interact with people with disabilities, or wouldn't have necessarily any type of guidelines. And like, for example, if we want to get together and have like a game day or a social day with people with disabilities, I don't think many people know how to include people with disabilities in that social setting. So do you have any recommendations on where we can find resources?
Yeah, well, maybe to connect with community organizers, I don't know what kind of services you have in Boston area, but I was thinking, like, we have the ARC in Spokane. That's one of the community that they have gathering and they have activities. So maybe to connect with a community organizer that's representing your area. That would be best in a disability organization wide, but that you can create activities, and you could also plan activities and bring people together. So that's one of them. Yeah. You have any more questions, Anine? Yeah.
Hi. I'm from New York, and I have a child in the high school with disability. And I was wondering, it's the first time that I heard about Students First. I want to know if that's a program that runs in Boston, or is mandatory in the schools here, or how can I help my school district to create these Students First, because we don't have that in Westchester County, where I am from.
Yes. Donna Lowry is the one in charge of doing a Student First club to request schools, and also Craig Cecilia is one of the coordinators of Student First, but in Spokane area. But I can also send you their information. Maybe you give them a call, and and maybe to explain of that you want it in your area. So maybe they can figure out something there. Yeah. Well, if there are no questions, I thank you for letting me present here, and have a great day. Here's my contact info, so if you want to reach me. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I am Pauline Bosma, and I represent a couple different hats I wear. So the first one is that I'm the founder and the project coordinator for the Rainbow Support Group of Massachusetts for people with intellectual and physical disability that I identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, or have questions about sex and romance. I get funded, me personally, to go out and do trainings, start groups, come here by the Department of Developmental Service in Boston. I'm also a part of an organization called Mass Self-Advocacy Standing Strong, which is it's a network, it's a support group organization. It's been existing for 20 years, and all the members in the group and everything like that run the group on the board, they're all board members, and they're all self-advocacy with people with disability that run the organization. I work for them, and I also am part of the Awareness and Action Project is to teach people how to recognize, respond, and report abuse in Massachusetts. I am also on 2 new projects to create and this is a really good one for me, that's going to be coming down the line in Massachusetts, is to teach people with disability sexual education with Planned Parenthood. That is coming down the line. I am part of that project. And I'm also part of a project to connect with Pathways, which is a rape crisis center in Worcester, and Victims' Right Law Center in Boston, and Mass Self-Advocacy Standing Strong are going to connect so we can come up with, when people go through rape with disability, they have the resources and everything like that. And I've been doing my work for almost 15, 16 years now and everything like that. So, and every time I get a call or do something, I am very happy to do it, And I've been lucky enough with the job that I have, I've been able to do some traveling. I've gone to Seattle, Washington, I've been on to Milwaukee, DC, I've been to, Denver, Colorado, and I have support groups throughout the whole state of Massachusetts. I have like 6, 7 support groups throughout the whole state. And I do have some information over there on the corner up there by that coffee cup. There's some information about my group and a business card and everything like that. And I am proud to be here and be representing everybody that I represent. So, yeah. Anybody have any questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What's the hardest part of your job and the best part of your job?
The hardest part of the job is probably trying to keep myself organized with everything that I do, because about 2 years ago, I just hired a part-time assistant because I get so many opportunities to do so many things and do things and everything like that, that it's like every time I get turned around, I mean, when everybody mentions somebody with a disability and say, we need somebody to talk about sex, who do we have? call Pauline. Pauline will do it. Ask Pauline. She's the expert. She knows about it. She'll teach it. She'll do it. And I'm not afraid of getting up in front of people and saying like, hey, we got to talk about it. It's, I mean, the hardest part is that I am, I mean, we keep on hearing about, in the news, we keep on hearing about elderly abuse and child abuse and everything like that. And I'm all for to stop them and everything like that. But do you realize that people with disability are abused more than those two organizations together? And nobody's talking about it on the news. Nobody's saying anything about it. No, they're keeping it under the rug, and they're going like, well, we're just going to keep it behind the doors. Well, it's about time that we, people like me with a disability, sit there and say, hey, we want to talk about it. We want to get it out there. We want to make sure that we can have, like since I started the Rainbow Support Group, I've had people, like, I'll give you a really good story where I started a group, right? And there was this gentleman, right? And he said, I got a question. I said, what's the question? He said, what does it mean when I like somebody like me? And I said, you mean like another guy? And he goes, yeah. I go, that means you're gay. He goes, thank you. And I said, why? He said, none of his staff or support people would answer the question because they were too afraid that they were going to get in trouble because they said we could have influence on saying that word gay. And come on, that's how the system works, is that most people with a disability, they don't know that they have these feelings and their emotions because they don't understand them. Nobody's saying like, hey, are you gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, whatever you are. But nobody's talking about it. I'm talking about it. And and it's open doors, but I mean, it's also given me new contacts and new people to introduce to what I do. And I'm proud to do what I got to do. So, I mean, it's been interesting, but it's also been hard because whenever my assistant sits with me, she goes, you get about 500 emails in one day. And we got to sit there and go through them. And it's like, okay, no. But I mean, I have time of what I'm doing and keep track of. I can't do it and everything like that because there's times when I wake up and go like, what am I doing today? Don't know. Am I working on my regular job? Am I working on one of my other projects? What am I doing? So, any questions?
Hello.
Hi.
That's a great work you're doing. So my question is, shows that you're doing a lot of different things at the same time. Just wanted to know if you could speak a little bit on the outreach and if there's any challenges, if you have any advice on how to outreach to do the outreach. So if you could talk a little bit about that, that would be great.
The outreach is it depends on what area you're in, what area of Massachusetts or wherever you're from, whatever, because there's a lot of really good, like you said before, there's a lot of good self-advocacy networks out there and everything like that. And if you can connect with a local self-advocacy group that can get in touch with you with a, statewide self-advocacy group and everything like that. Like I said, mass self-advocacy has been existing for 20 years. And they're run by a board of directors, and all the board members have a disability, and they say we're gonna do A, B, and C, and that's what we do for the year. We do A, B, and C, or what they want, and they say we want to do trainings on like awareness and action to teach people with disability. Awareness and action is a different project because it was created by people with disability for people with disability to teach them how to recognize, respond, and report abuse. Massachusetts was the first state to actually do this and came up with this project and said, we're going to create this project for people with disability because people with disability were getting abused, but they didn't know it. Now they know it because they've gone through the training and they go, so that's what abuse looks like. And everything that I do, it kind of ties in together with whatever I'm doing, because if I'm doing like Planned Parenthood to come up to help them create a project for sexual education down the line, that goes into abuse, because we got to teach the next generation what to do so they don't do it. So, any other questions?
Do you have any difficulty working with family members?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I mean, there's always, because I mean, there's always a family member. Where there was like a guy that wanted to be a member of my group, right? And his mother said, you know, when he was over 21 and everything like that, 22 and everything like that. And his mother came to the meeting and said, well, my son's not gay. Okay, that's what you say, but I mean, that's what he's saying. But I mean, it's like, so I'm not going to sit there and argue with the mother. I'm going to, you know, argue. I'm going to be on the person's side and everything like that with the disability. But I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say like, you know, your mother's right. You can't, you know, it's like whatever. Just, you know, just listen to your mother this one time, you know, and maybe she'll change her mind. If she doesn't, then you know, have her call me and talk to me about it and everything like that. I mean, I've done that. I've gotten on the phone and talked to people and say, hey, you know, I have a client that's gay or lesbian or bisexual or transgender. What do I do? Well, you give them my number, call me, have them talk to me, get the information, get to know the person. You know, that's the hardest thing, is that a person with a disability, you give us, if you got a person, you know, a person with a disability, and they got a staff or support person that takes them out for the day or whatever like that. Get to know them. That's how you get to know them, because you're doing something for them to say like, yeah, I'm gonna be out there teaching them, you know, like how to bowl. You know, take them when they go bowling. You know, talk to them and say, well, so how do you feel? What's your, you know. Doesn't have to be anything special. You can just say, do you feel good? Yeah, I feel good. Okay. Then you go from there. But I mean, you know, I can't, the hardest thing for me is that I can't, because of my job of being part of being the founder of Rainbow and everything like that, I can't go directly up to a client and say, are you gay? Are you lesbian? I gotta get their staff or their support people or somebody in their circle to recognize that there's a problem. So how do we get them to open up? And then I say, take my business card, take my information, email me. You know, I do part of my job with Rainbow or whatever I'm doing. Part of my job is that I am able to go out throughout the whole state of Massachusetts to do trainings on LGBT people for staff, family support agencies, whatever I got to do. I do it. If you have an agency or some people that want to get together and say, hey, let's have Pauline come talk about LGBT issues and everything like that with people with disabilities, that's what I do. Come down, talk about it, make it understand for everybody and everything like that. But I mean, it hasn't been easy, because I've also stepped on some toes on the way up the ladder, and I'm still like in the LGBT community and everything like that. And I have nothing against the LGBT regular community and everything like that. We're on the bottom. The people with disability are not even recognized in the LGBT community yet, because we're not even there. I go to Boston Pride, I go to Worcester Pride, I go to any event that I can go to support LGBT people and everything like that. You know, and it's like, you know, I go there, I have a table, I raise money for my group, for my organization. But it's like next year, next October, will be the Rainbow's 15th anniversary. You know, and you know, if you would ask me, where would I be, you know, 5 years ago or 10 years ago, would I be doing this? No, because I just do it. I just do what I got to do. But I'm also at the point where I know I got to understand people and accept that there's going to be people out there that are going to be like, I don't want to talk about that. I'm not interested in that. Well, no, I'm not here to force it on you. I'm just here to educate. Let you think about it. Let it go through your head. That's all I'm here for. Nothing else. So, any other questions? Boy, this is a tough crowd.
I
Nobody
mean,
has-
we're pretty much wrapping up. So, I mean, if there are no other questions and you guys have nothing else to add, we can sort of wrap it up here. Might be a good ending point. But I want to thank you both for this great presentation. And again, Pauline's cards are here in the front of the room. If anybody would like to take one, as well as some information. And Sorretie's information is up on the board.
Thank you. Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.